Hello baby boys, girls and every baby in between. Did you know sex and gender are separate things in The Sims 2? In today's video we're exploring every way they relate to each other and how they shape a Sims experience in this game. If you don't know me, hello, my name is Cruz Gabriela, I'm transgender and I love to play with gender in Sims 2. Every pre-made sim and any sim created in-game will have the same gender as their biological sex, except for a few dead ancestors who have non-conforming genders, which is most likely caused by bugs or corrupted data, not intentional design. A good example of this would be Vicky Sims, one of Olive's victims. She's a female sim, but the game treats her as a male. And then also Melissa Sims, another victim that, by the way, shares the same last name as Vicky Sims. She's a teenager girl, but the game treats her as an adult male, which is so creepy. And if you do not know this, you can easily alter a sim's gender with SimPE or some mods. This mechanic is already present in the game whether you choose to do it or not. Everything presented here is part of the game's code and not custom content or a mod. We're gonna explore exactly how this works in sections. Body shapes. Sims share the exact same body shape when they are newborns, toddlers, and kids, but their bodies start to differ from the teen life stage and up, just like in real life. Body shapes are not affected by their gender, only by their biological sex. Male Sims have bigger heads, wider shoulders, a bigger chest, a straight waist, and small hips. Female Sims have smaller shoulders, tits, a curved waist, and bigger hips. Male bodies look more square and female bodies look more like an hourglass. The way Sims gain weight also differs. Female fat is more spread out, while male fat is more noticeably concentrated in the belly. Face templates are also linked to biological sex, and the way each one ages is different because of that. So, for example, phase 2 male Sims will age just fine, but phase 2 female Sims age like total shit. None of these features is altered by their gender. Sims don't have genitals though, they're like Barbie dolls, there's just nothing there. Oh, and if you love Sims 2 creative content, then please subscribe. I've made over 100 videos about this game, and if you can, please leave a comment and like the video. This helps me reach more amazing people like you. Pronouns. Yeah, pronouns are actually present in The Sims 2. Sims will be addressed according to their gender, which always matches their original sex unless the player changes it. Pronouns showed up mostly in chance cards where they describe the playable sim, and the good news is that they actually change when a sim's gender changes. So a transgender woman will be treated as she or her and a trans guy as he or him in the game, despite their biological sex, which is awesome. Unfortunately, hairstyles are linked to sex instead of gender, so even if you alter a sim's gender, the hairstyles from the other sex will still not unlock for them. There are a few unisex options though, including the bald look. Some long male hairstyles can look great on transgender women, and some short female hairstyles can look great on trans men too. Facial hair works the same way. Male Sims can have it, but female Sims cannot grow beards at all. But custom content for that is easy to find. Outfits. They're the most tricky part when it comes down to playing with gender in The Sims 2, as they're pretty connected to body shapes and cannot be easily converted for the opposite sex. So unfortunately, creating transgender Sims almost always require downloading custom content. Although gender and sex are different things in this game, it is crystal clear they never meant for us to separate them, which makes a lot of sense for its time. Giving birth. This is where things get a little messy. So far, everything matches real life, at least to some extent, but when it comes to getting pregnant and giving birth, not quite. When you alter a sim's gender, creating for example a trans guy, instead of getting pregnant, he will not be able to impregnate other sims, which makes no sense. And so a trans lady could get pregnant, and that's not realistic at all. This bothers me, but is manageable. You can alter their gender right before they try for a baby and revert it when the conception is successful. That can easily be done with a mod like Inseminator, but a more complete and definitive option would be the reproductive capabilities configured. This mod lets you flag a sim as able to get pregnant or impregnate others, which makes the lives of transgender sims much more reasonable. Fun fact, the birth cutscene will change according to the sim's gender, so trans ladies will get the mom cutscene and trans guys will get the baby 8 and 1. Did you know the pre-made family trees follow a pattern based on sex? Parent A is always the father and parent B is always the mother. But in game, that's not how this works. Every sim born in game will have the pregnant parent as parent A in their family tree, no matter that parent's sex. In case, the first parent you create becomes parent A, but then in game, parent A will always be the male, even though it didn't look like that in Create a Sim. I don't know why this changed, but that's only for cast families. Sims born in game, as said before, will always feature the pregnant parent as parent A. Tools are available for both male and female sims. They're mostly unisex, which is great, but some are only available for one sex or the other, especially bracelets and some earrings. Makeup, on the other hand, is fully unisex in The Sims 2, which I think was pretty advanced for 2004 and perfect for playing with gender. There are sex dividing doors in Sims 2, usually used in community lots and dorm bathrooms, but you can use them for any room you want to restrict by sex, which is cool. Except these doors do not divide by sex exactly, but by gender instead. This means an MTF sim will use the ladies' restroom, and an FTM sim will use the guys' bathroom, which is awesome. The way Sims pee is also affected by their gender. Trans ladies always sit when peeing, and trans guys can pee seated or standing, and they can also use the urinals. Yes, voices are also gendered and not sex-based in The Sims 2. Trans ladies will sound like a lady, and trans guys will sound like dudes. Hormone therapy in real life can alter a guy's voice, but won't do the same for transgender girls, which is why I sound like that. Still, I think it is very reaffirming that Sims voices change with their gender. That is so cool. There are a few different ways to play with the gender here. For example, instead of creating a transgender lady who is biologically male, you can create a female sim that the game treats as male. She will be able to impregnate others and have a masculine voice, but she will still be a trans girl in your game. The upside would be that she keeps access to all female outfits and hairstyles, and she will impregnate others instead of getting pregnant as in real life. The downside would be that the game will not use the right pronouns for her or let her use the right bathroom, and there are a few more things like that coming up next. Sexual attraction. One of the coolest ways sex and gender differ in Sims 2 is how they impact the chemistry system of the game. Sims are not attracted by sex but by gender instead. It is all about the way Sims present themselves and not their private parts or DNA, I guess. So, for example, a straight male sim like Don Lothario will be attracted to MTF sims as well, which is very cool. Not only that, the way sims demonstrate attraction is also affected by their gender. A female gendered sim will fan herself when an attractive sim is around, and a male gendered sim will whistle. You do need to save the game and leave the lot for these animations to update. So gender also plays a part on how sims act and their behavior. Female and male sims share the same walking animation, except for one specific walking style, the romance one. Romance aspiration sims do a flirty walk when they are heading to a romantic interaction, and this walk differs depending on whether a sim is male or female. In my first test, I thought the animation was based on sex, since it did not change with their gender, but you actually need to save the game and leave the lot after changing their gender for the animation to update as well. Marriage. Perhaps the very worst thing about Sims 2 is that same-sex sims cannot marry each other. Yes, I know. Instead, they get joined unions. This sucks of course, but it made sense at the time. But the game does acknowledge gender for marital purposes, so a trans girl can marry the man of her dreams instead of getting a joined union. The same happens for a trans guy who's marrying his lady. This is actually sweet, so in a way we did get same-sex marriage, just not same gender. Altering a sim's gender with SimPE is pretty easy. All you wanna do is go to neighborhoods, pick the neighborhood neighborhood your sim lives in, go to Sim Browser, select the sim, and here in Plugin View under Overview, you can change their gender. You can also alter their names here. A simpler way is using the Incinerator, where under the Personality Adjuster, you can alter a sim's gender in-game instantly. The reproductive capabilities configure would be the best option though, since it offers that and extra reproduction customizability. Oh my god, baby boys, girls, and every baby in between. There are so many ways to play with gender in this old as hell game. It is amazing how unintentionally advanced it was. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.